of an unrelated topic, okay? So, last year, in January of 2024, I rebranded my old KO Gaming channel that had been sitting unused on YouTube for something like 6+ years, okay? Originally, that channel was supposed to be a edited content channel, and for a whole year, it was reviews, countdowns, highlights, topical videos, video essays, etc. It was a pretty good channel for a year. It actually had a video that brought in over 1 million views. It actually made me a lot of money. Okay, it was a profitable endeavor, and I was actually balancing where half the day I would stream and half the day I would video edit for that channel. What ended up happening is the channel went defunct in 2018 when YouTube demonetized it for no reason. And I mean that. There was literally no reason. They didn't give me a reason. They didn't check in and tell me, oh, you violated a rule. They just made it so every video that I uploaded to that channel was demonetized. When I asked them about it, all they would do is send me a form letter response. Oh, here's the reasons why we demonetized. I said, yeah, but the channel has none of those. So why do you keep demonetizing it? And they never responded. So the channel sat there completely unused for many years as a backup channel. There was one point where YouTube had screwed up DSP Gaming because of Google Plus back when that was tied to it and was a thing. And I used the channel as a backup to upload. But for the most part, it just sat there dormant as, if I ever needed it as like a fail-safe or whatever. But then, over the course of several years, some ideas started to sprout up amongst the viewers. And one of the ideas was, did I ever think of possibly restoring some lost playthroughs? For example, I didn't always upload all my gameplay to the DSP Gaming channel here on YouTube. I used to have other channels. So, for example, I used to have DSP Street Fighter, and I used to have Red Dead DSP, and I used to have like Final Fantasy 13 DSP or something like that. I don't even actually remember what it was called. Maybe it was like Dark Side Phil Final Fantasy 13 or something like that. Now, the reason those channels existed is because way back when, over a decade ago, there were certain companies that were very copyright happy when it came to claiming stuff. Rockstar was one of them. Square Enix was one of them. So whenever you were going to post up a playthrough of one of those games, you had to be apprehensive. Were you going to get hit with copyright takedown requests? Okay. So I ended up setting up these separate channels for those playthroughs to protect my main Dark Side Phil channel. Well, guess what? The playthroughs went up without a hitch. People liked them. They got hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of views total. And they just kind of sat there archived on these channels for many years, not even monetized. I never even put ads on those playthroughs, okay? What ended up happening was over the years, I just kind of forgot about the channels because everything got uploaded to DSP Gaming. But then, all of a sudden, probably around like 2016-ish, someone got illegal access to the channels. They found this backdoor loophole with the whole Google process and found a way to log into the channels without my permission and take control of them, completely stealing them. Like, I couldn't even get them back. I tried, and I couldn't get control of the channels back, okay? They then streamed sports footage, including football and other stuff, and got the channel shut down. So basically what ended up happening was there were big prominent playthroughs from my history that had been lost to time. And there was no way to see them. They were gone from the internet. And people were pretty upset that you couldn't watch my original Red Dead Redemption playthrough or my original LA Noire playthrough or the Final Fantasy 13 playthrough. Well, a few years ago, I just happened to be doing a closet clean-out event. Over the course of the summer, there was some downtime, and I did a big marathon where I just sat here cleaning out my closet, finding all kinds of goodies. We found collectibles, artwork, old games, all kinds of stuff. But notably, one of the things that we found was all of the external hard drives that I used to use to store all of my original YouTube content. And these span from 2008 all the way through like 2018. It's like a ridiculous amount of time, a decade of archived footage. Now, after that, I decided I didn't need to back up stuff anymore because, modern YouTube, you easily have ways to get these files, download them, etc. So, when we found those hard drives, eureka, an idea hit. Phil, since you still have all of those original playthroughs hard stored on these hard drives. Would you ever consider re-uploading them on the internet so people can now watch them again? And we talked about this for like 2 years, how to do it. Because my concern was, if I were to upload those videos here to DSP Gaming, this channel would be absolutely overwhelmed with gameplay videos. We already have hours and hours of videos that I upload to this channel a day. Now imagine uploading even more. Okay? Even more. And it's absolutely ridiculous. All right? So, I didn't want to do that. And we waited and we talked about it. And finally, working with certain people, editors behind the scenes and people who wanted to help out, I figured out a project. And the project was called DSP Throwback. We rebranded the KO Gaming channel as DSP Throwback in January of 2024. And we decided we would upload those old missing playthroughs to the channel, only it wouldn't just be the playthroughs. These playthroughs now would be edited together to be longer parts, notably around half an hour long, in some cases an hour-long gameplay parts. We're going to upscale the video. So instead of being peach fuzz-like webcam style from over a decade ago, it would make them fully HD. We also had frame rate upscalers. So for example, these games that were running at 30 frames on my console and recording at like 20-something frames now would be running around 60 frames on YouTube, okay? Plus, lighting adjustments, audio adjustments, proper titling, thumbnails, all the things that these ancient playthroughs were missing to modernize them, okay? We started with Red Dead Redemption 1, the original playthrough, but then we continued on with Final Fantasy 13. Then we did the Red Dead Redemption expansion, Undead Nightmare. Then we decided, instead of only focusing on missing content, we could also work on content that needs to be remastered because it just looks and sounds terrible. So we redid the entirety of the Fallout 3 playthrough from way back when. Then we started picking and choosing other missing content, such as the Dante's Inferno unfinished playthrough, and so on and so forth. It's a body of work. If you have never been there, okay, I strongly recommend you give it a look, because it is a great channel for what it is, okay? It's a really good channel, in my opinion. If you want to see these ancient playthroughs, restored in a way that they're actually digestible, all right? Here it is, actually, if you've never seen it before. This is DSP Throwback on YouTube. It's just at DSP Throwback. And just to show you some of the stuff that we've done over the course of the channel in about a year and a half. Assassin's Creed 2, Resident Evil 5, Elder Scrolls 5, Skyrim, original Mass Effect 1, Silent Hill 2 HD, which we did in conjunction with the Silent Hill 2 remake, Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare, okay? There's way more than that. Let's actually go through all the playlists. Let's scroll all the way down here. So here we go. Final Fantasy 13, Red Dead Redemption 1, Fallout 3, L.A. Noire, that's right, the missing L.A. Noire playthrough was upscaled and uploaded to this channel, okay? Dante's Inferno, oh yeah, I totally forgot about this one. Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Why is that one notable? Because the original playthrough on DSP Gaming on this channel is ruined. The music, the copywritten music, all got claimed and muted, so half the playthrough you can't hear. Now, we edited it, so now you can actually watch the whole playthrough and hear all the commentary, and it's all there, okay? Plus Red Dead Online gameplay, which became a Suicide King series later on, and more. Now, in addition to that, in addition to the upscaled, remastered playthroughs that I put onto this channel, also, I did what was called Retro React. Retro React was that once a week on like a Sunday night, I would watch my classic gameplay from way back in the day and actually do live streams commenting over it with all of you. That included Dark Souls 1, the entire original run that I rage quit, Heavy Rain, the classic 2010 playthrough, a little bit of Bully, me reacting to some of my most memorable videos of all time with the highest amount of views, okay? My original Walking Dead playthrough, the entire season 1, which is 30 videos, so you're talking like 30 hours of content. Mario and Sonic at the 2012 Olympic Games co-op playthrough, which is absolutely hilarious. Rise of Nightmares, which is a Nintendo Connect game, or excuse me, Xbox Connect game that didn't really ever work. My original PS Home walkthroughs on the PlayStation 3 from back in the day, which PS Home doesn't even exist anymore. My original Resident Evil 1 Director's Cut playthrough. My original Silent Hill 1 playthrough. And that's it. So, lots of content, okay? However, as times changed and priorities shifted, the focus on this channel dwindled. For example, back in December, I stopped doing Retro Reacts. And I told you guys, hey, in 2025, I'll come back to it at some point when we so choose. And it just so happens, here we are entering April, and we haven't done it yet. Okay? We're still doing new stuff on DSP Gaming, and we haven't gone back to doing those Retro React nights. But in addition, the playthroughs have been on hiatus for a couple of weeks. You take a look. The last video was uploaded 13 days ago, and there really haven't been any new ones. So essentially, we're a good chunk into Assassin's Creed 2, and we're about 9 hours into Skyrim, okay? And so now people are starting to ask, all right, well, what happened? You were, pretty consistently releasing, episodes of these videos on there. Well, a few things have happened. Allow me to explain, okay? Number one, the viewership has massively dwindled. Massively. All right. We started off with these videos getting 1,000 views, each. And then it went down to maybe 700, 800. Then it went down to 500. Now we're releasing episodes and they're getting 100 views, if that. That's nothing. Okay. It's absolutely nothing. A pittance. 100 views on a video. And the thing is, there's a difference between, I made a raw gameplay video and I just uploaded it versus, I highly edited this video. I took all the old footage. I ran it through an editor. I upscaled it. I upscaled the frames, but also the resolution. I fixed the audio, so now the audio doesn't get claimed on YouTube, but it's you can hear all the dialogue now. And I did this, and I added thumbnails and everything. It's a tremendous amount of work. Tremendous. I'm not even kidding you. One video uploaded to DSP Throwback is about 8 hours of work. That's not me exaggerating. It's that much. It's multiple passes through an editor. It's me watching the video back raw, titling it, thumbnail, all that stuff. It takes a tremendous amount of work to put that content out. And so, you want to talk about diminishing returns. When we started the channel in early 2024, it was getting thousands of views. Now each video getting 100. It really gets to the point where it's wow, is this even worth the tremendous amount of effort? So that's number one, okay? Number two, we've already completed all of the missing playthroughs. If you're not aware, all of the ones that were gone, LA Noire, Red Dead and the Red Dead Online, Undead Nightmare, as well as Final Fantasy 13, they're all there now. So all the stuff that was the premise of the channel has already been uploaded. It's done. We were actually extending the life of the project because people were enjoying it, but we saw the diminishing returns happen and we were like, man, this is just, it's not really panning out at this point with the amount of effort that's going into it. Number three, this is being very transparent with all of you. This is not an exaggeration. I'm spending money on the software to actually get these videos upscaled for the channel. So you have to pay for the software and all of that. The actual cost of paying for the software was more expensive than what I'm making on that channel in a month. I'm not kidding you. That channel, without the streams of the Retro React, because the Retro React streams, I'd make money on the streams. But just the raw content, it would be about, I'm not even kidding you, less than $50 a month I was making on that channel. And I want you to think about that. If every week there's 4 or 5 videos being released, each video is 8 hours of work. Right? 40 hours of work a week, 120 hours of work a month. And I'm paying basically anywhere between $50 to $100 for the software to do said work. And I'm making $40 a month on the channel. Okay? Yeah. And then lastly, on top of all of that, I do have an editing team that does various different things for me. Okay? Some of them set up videos, set up streams, set up thumbnails, set up titles ahead of time. Some of them do work after the fact. Like if you remember back when my PC was having issues before I got the new one, remember sometimes videos would corrupt. So my editing team would go in there and would pull the footage off of the raw stream so that I have that backup video because I don't have time to do it because I'm still working and streaming. Okay. My editing team were the people who are upscaling, who are adding the videos together into longer parts, stuff like that. Like all this work was being done by the editing team. Well, some of the editing team basically quit. Okay. So I don't have everyone anymore. So because of that, things have to suffer and change. You might have already noticed my thumbnails have changed. That's because I'm doing them now. Okay. I'm doing all the thumbnail work, which is, I like doing it, by the way. I'm enjoying doing the thumbnails. I hope you guys have liked the thumbnails in the last couple of weeks because that's been all me doing it. But that's me putting in even extra work. All right. So I just don't have enough manpower to actually have DSP Throwback operating right now. Okay. I don't. So, and the thing is, it's like of all the things that are going to suffer, what would have suffered? DSP Throwback, which no one's really watching, and the thumbnails, but I can easily make thumbnails myself. It just takes more time. So it's not a total loss. And it's not like I don't have anyone helping me. That's not true. It's just that the people who were responsible for certain tasks are gone now. Okay. So you might say, well, so what does this mean? Right? What does this mean for the future? Well, here's what it means for the future. Number one, DSP Throwback is kind of dormant, and it's probably going to be for a bit. Am I thinking of maybe bringing it back in the future, maybe getting more people or different people to do the work? Yes. However, it wasn't popular. It was at first for the missing playthroughs. That was the appeal. That's what people wanted. The videos that aren't anywhere else, get those live. And we did that. We accomplished that over 2024, and I'm proud that we did. Because that was the primary focus of the channel. Get that content live in a way for posterity that people can watch it. And now you can. That content is now preserved forever. And I'm happy for that. So yeah, good stuff in that regard. Okay. But no one really cared about the new stuff we were doing. Take a look at the views on Assassin's Creed and Skyrim. 100 views a video, it doesn't warrant the amount of work and time and money being put into the channel. Okay. What I would like to do excuse me, is possibly go back and resume the Retro React nights. Now, I just don't know when to do that because as of now, we don't even have enough nights to cover the stuff that I'm doing. Like right now, for example, we're doing Suikoden 1 HD remake. We're doing Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, right? We're also playing Inzoi, which we just started yesterday. We've got Atomfall that we're continuing. And we got multiplayer games in the mix, like Street Fighter and Call of Duty. Now, later on this month, and notably next week, we've got South of Midnight coming out. We've got my birthday marathon coming up. We've got all this stuff. So with all that happening, how on earth am I actually going to juggle Retro React nights? And the answer is, I'm not. I got too much going on right now. Okay, perhaps in the future, when things calm down and we're not juggling as many games, right? Then we could say, all right, let's bring back the Retro React stuff. Or maybe for a while, instead of doing indie games, which we've actually very much enjoyed, right? We've really enjoyed doing these indie nights. Scale back on the indie stuff and then take those nights to actually go do Retro React, right? Because I just can't do everything at once. It's just not possible. So let's see what happens, all right? But for now, I liked doing Throwback. I think it was a great channel. I want to say thanks to anyone who watched the videos, who contributed to the channel with super thanks, who actually attended the live streams and supported, and anyone who actually was a paid sub over there. That's really nice. But like I said, I'm making $40 a month on the channel. It's not worth the insane amount of work that was going into it at this point. The whole posterity project technically was completed last year, and we just kind of extended it. But at this point, it's not necessarily necessary, right? It's just kind of an optional thing. And it's nice to be able to do it as a side project. Like I said, it's kind of like my passion project, but it's not anything that's really panning out to be anything too important at this point. So for now, DSP Throwback is on hiatus. Later this year, I am planning on doing Retro React. If at all you feel like it would be a good time to do it and you have an idea what should be the next playthrough we do for Retro React, let me know. We originally were thinking Fallout 3, but that was many months ago and maybe things have changed, okay? Powerhouse Gaming, as I just said, it's on hiatus. He says, will the current playthroughs be finished? It's on hiatus. There's no one to do it. The people who are working on it are gone. So there's no one to finish the playthroughs, no. Right now, it's completely frozen. It may resume in the future, but as of now, no, the work is frozen, and it may or may not ever continue, okay? There you go. Fair enough? Okay. All right, I hope that explains things. Cool. All right,